Chihiro, my boy, you may be new to this, not true to this, but don't worry. I know what this is like. Unfortunately, your uncle is going to have to son you. If you don't know what that means, you're about to find out. What's up, guys? That guy with a pencil here. Fun fact, I do to have it on me and keep it on me at all times. Another fun fact, here we are to review chapter 106 of Kagurabachi, which is known as, I don't know, it's on the first page, which is very consistent with Kagurabachi. I feel like it's like a 50-50 shot when then I open the chapter and the chapter title's actually on the first page. But I'm excited. I'm so excited, in fact, that while I do have it on me and keep it on me at all times, you know what else? Oh! I got a pre-draw. It's Kagurabachi, dog. 105 chapters of nothing but straight peak. And I highly doubt 106 is going to be any different. So I'm excited. I'm ready. Let's not waste any more time. Let's hop right into chapter 106 of Kagurabachi. What was the Swordmaster like? Just like it says there. What does it say there? It talks about him being like a madman? Or, no, it wouldn't, because that was hidden. Like, he was just a great hero. Hold on. Where's the X button? I'm down that one. Mainly because, like, you knew him. Like, you knew him. Buddy, you can't go and tell. But then again, I guess I get why he wouldn't tell him, though. Like, there's no way to explain that. Like, how do you rationalize? How do you even remotely come close to explaining that? Like, oh yeah, your unc, real cool guy, was literally the guy I trusted the most. Gave him my most powerful weapon. He actually slaughtered an entire nation. It's surrounded. Like, there's no way to really go into it. And also, him knowing his uncle isn't going to change anything, right? So might as well just keep it quiet. And also, like he at this point he didn't even know that was his uncle. like Chihiro never knew his mom, at least from what we know. Let's see. I want to know about his personality and his relationship with my dad, but after that, I decided not to ask any more questions. Yeah, that seemed to get Kunishige actively. But then again, right? From what little, and I do mean little, we know of the relationship between Kunishige and Akimura, they were friends. They were like friends, like darn near brothers. Like for Kunishige to trust him that much with the Shinichi, which literally means greatest work, right? Like I think that's what it translates to, the Magatsumi, right? The Magatsumi, which is the Shinichi. To trust him with that is a testament to how close they truly were. So if Kunishige doesn't want to share that, yeah, it has to be bad. And there are some times I understand this moment from Chihiro where like you ask something as a kid and your parents are like, even if they don't, there are a couple times I remember when I would ask my parents certain things, they'd be like I just wouldn't go into it, and I was like, that was the end of the conversation. No, like, yo, but what if no. If they who would almost answer literally anything were like, then. Yeah, the conversation's dead and buried. Don't worry about it. There's some things I don't know to this day that I asked about prior. And I'm never going to ask about them again. I'm a full-grown man, mind you. Probably should ask, but like, I'm gonna, because there's certain things you don't. But of course, now it would have been nice to know a little bit more about the guy, considering he's currently 1v1ing him. Well, not 1v1. Well, the rest of the summer comes back. Probably 1v1ing him, at least for a little bit. Summer, you comes in. Let's see. After that, I decided not to ask any more questions. She even taking a break is great, but then again, he has been teleporting in mass, right? Teleporting the masses en masse over and over and over again. So who knows what kind of area, right? Like, where has he been teleporting? We haven't actually seen the end result of his teleports. We just know he's been popping in and out of reality. So I'm not shocked that even him, the apex of sorcery, quote unquote, would be heavily fatigued from evacuating darn near an entire city, or even if not an entire sibling city, not an entire city, evacuating multiple buildings. Think about that. Evacuating multiple buildings. How many people do you think are in the average like skyscraper? He had to evacuate all of that. That is a lot. How many people in the average office building? Think about that. Shiba likely, even if he got twofers on some of them, he had to do that. Say there are 50 people. We're gonna lowball it. Say there are 50 people in an office building, that's 25 jumps. And we know he cleared out way more than one building. We know he cleared out way more than one train car. So, like, I get Chiba needing a hands on your knees, Sheba, hands on your knees, which he has his shoulders on his knees, or not shoulders, his elbows on his knees. His shoulders on his knees, I mean, possible if you're flexible enough, but not your boy. Let's see. This energy, it can't be. Oh, yes, it is. Oh, he's here. And he's horrifying. Well, to be fair, I say no, but you know what, actually, speaking of, I say no, but I'm really liking how this arc is going. Like, I've seen some hot and heavy debate. Even with last chapter being as well regarded as it was. Like, last chapter, I saw a glaze from the back, but I saw a lot of people really say they were not cool with Akimura just, not necessarily hijacking, right? Because Yuri technically gave him the position, but essentially kind of sort of hijacking the plot and like taking away Yuri as a spotlight. A lot of people didn't like that. Well, at least for now, what it seems like is that Yura only existed to further hype SOGA. Like, a lot of people really don't like that. A lot of people wish Yura was the main villain. He was able with the full powers of the Tsunuchi, that Akimura just died off screen. And, like, I do get that. Currently, at the moment, I still think Yura is a more interesting... But even then, do I? I mean, but notably, I think I'm interested in them for the same reasons, right? Like, they're very mysterious, very well-spoken, very cool-looking characters. But I think, like, at least I do like Akimura SOGA more. But the reason I'm fine with it, and the reason I do lean a certain way in terms of, like, being perfectly okay and even liking the direction the arc is going, is because in spite of the insanity of Akimura SOGA being released, he gives me the vibe of being a man of his word. I do not think this is Yura's end. I don't think Akimura would go out of his way to play mind games with Yuri and be like, "Yeah, give me the body, bro. I promise I'll give it back." Like, I don't see him pulling a Ghost Freak, dog. Like, I don't think he's gonna be like, "Actually, I like the way you feel deep inside of your belly." I'm not like, I don't think he's gonna do that. And at the same time, I also don't think that he's going to slaughter. This is gonna be really weird, but past 2 chapters review me described it perfectly when I said it was an early final boss encounter. You're not supposed to win here, but at the same time, you're not supposed to get party wipes either. I really, like, sure, I guess he needs it, like, because the other thing I've seen is that a lot of people be like, "Oh, Soga's out, Sommer's dead." like people aren't even holding out any sort of hope or hope that Sommer's gonna make it. But, like, and I get, like, that would feed into, like, what could definitely be argued as, like, a sleeper kind of issue of Kagurabachi, where, like, no major serious top tier characters ever perish, right? Like, sure, we've had some random nameless fodder perish, or characters that appeared for like 1 or 2 chapters. Like, who cares about all that? And all the villains that, yeah, like, who cares about that? But, like, booming Samura, bro, after his whole character, but the thing is, there are 2 wolves fighting inside me, because part of me is like, I think that'd be really like, not bad, but really whack writing to boom Samura. If after Samura's whole point up to this point was that he wanted to boom himself through booming Soga anyway, like, that was the whole point there. That'd be really weird and anticlimactic. But at the same time, the tragedy would be there. Well, and, like, the me that likes tragedy is like, oh, well, I can see and you really like the tragedy. The idea that Samura had finally decided to live for his daughter and himself, but it was too late. He allowed himself to get too consumed by his mission, and thusly made the mistake that allowed Akimura SOGA to be released, and then Soga just annihilates him. Like there is the 2 sides. But especially with Soga being established as so powerful, with the Ishaku still seemingly being a present threat, even though we haven't got back to them yet, all that, I think it's fine for Samura to be here, Brody. Like I don't know, I feel like Samura can make it out of this, but it would run into the issue where Akimura SOGA is so powerful, but he's just flexing emptily, right? Like, no one actually takes any serious lethal damage, no one actually dies, right? So, like, do we sack him? For the stakes, the big, feety, beauty, big, meaty stakes, man. Do I think he can get away? I think it really depends. But so far, the way Akimura has been written, I could easily see him sparing Chihiro and Samura both. I mean, like, obviously, he literally just tried to execute Samura. Like, he sliced the panel. I don't know how I didn't notice that last week. He literally sliced the panel itself. Like, Samura should be fried. But I'm really hoping that Akimura's like, yeah, no, I'm just not feeling it. I'm not feeling it today. Y'all good. In fact, I need to give this body back anyway. Just letting y'all know I'm here. They'll let me out. I'll see y'all in a bit. Like, Something like that, man. Like true early boss fight encounter stuff where you do, or like too early final boss encounter where you do get it. You get like some read of their abilities, but ultimately you know it's not enough, and you're gonna have to come back with way more tech and upgrades at the end of the game to actually be able to defeat them. Let's see. Oh, he's too fast. It's the Sword Saint. Yes, indeed, it is. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Chapter 106. Karma. Alright. It is crazy. Like, I don't know. What's a good example? Hold on. Let me put this back up here. Good. For reference, I know the main differentiator between the enchanted blades is their hilts. Like, that's what makes them special. But I do also kind of wish, but I get why they don't. I do kind of wish they had more unique blade designs, like here. For referencia, to show you what I'm talking about. I'm not expecting, like, Keyblade level diversity, right? Like, Keyblades are literal just super magical swords. But, if you'll note, this is one of my regular katanas. As you can see, the blade, very simple. Very basic, but, you know, katanas are katanas, right? They are a uniform sword style. It makes sense. But I do have another katana with a more intricate and fancy design. If you'll note, this one right here, as you can already tell, that's a little bit fancy just by the sheath itself. But even then, taking out the sheath, look at the blade. It still has the traditional trademarks of a katana. And let's see, camera, can you focus? But, like, you can see the design, right? Like, the flowery design that goes down this blade. It's not translating very well to the camera because of the light. But that's the thing. This blade still has a unique design on top of the unique hilt. And I was kind of hoping that for the Magatsumi after we waited so long to draw it. But it looks like it is just a regular base katana, but, you know, with a fancy hilt. Which is a little teeny tiny bit unfortunate, but hey, we work what we can get. And even then, it may actually be more detailed. This could just be a far out shot. So let me pay attention to more panels of the Magatsumi, and then maybe my wish will be granted. Maybe Big Daddy Hokuzono Sensei will actually give it a unique design. But let's see. Chapter 106, Karma. How you've grown. Wait, no, see, It's the Dalmata voice. It's the Dalmata voice. I just need to listen to it. This is not power of your creation. And what will you do about the second one, Anoki? How you've grown, Chihiro. You know, funnily enough, though, the thing is, despite him, like, obviously easily having the Dalmata voice in my head, he doesn't, like, his design doesn't fit that. I don't know, something about it. Like, his actual, like, design, his facial, like, I'm gonna keep messing with his voice. I have 2 weeks to figure out his voice. We're on break for 2 weeks for, like, every manga release because end of year. But, like, I gotta figure out Akimura Soga's voice because he has such a weird one. Not even a weird one. Like, he has a certain narrative role that seemingly doesn't fit the voice I'm trying to give. Like, I'm trying to give him the super deep raspy voice, but I don't think it almost fits his design. At the same time, it kind of, I don't know. Let's see. How you've grown, Chihiro. There we go. I think I'll stick with this one for now. It still has the rasp, the roughness of a man who hasn't spoken in a long time, but it doesn't have the same deep tenor. It feels like it fits his design a little bit better. The funny thing is, though, I think by product, or by proxy, Chihiro's gonna have a deeper voice than his uncle, which is kind of hilarious. Let's see. How you've grown, Chihiro. Huh? He knows my name? Even Mr. Samura and Mr. Ura didn't know about me. Oh, and that's the other thing. A lot of people revealed, I didn't realize Chihiro was born that early. I thought Chihiro was born post-war. Like, Iori was born post-war. But no, only Iori was born post-war. I was conflating their backstories. Chihiro was actually born near the end of the war. I believe the war ended, like, in the latest part of the year. I mean, while Chihiro was born, like late mid-year, or, like, early mid-year, or just mid-year in general. So, yeah, there's a reason Akimura knows Chihiro. It's because he was born when Akimura was still, like, out and active and, you know, hadn't started malediction all over the place. So he knew baby Chihiro. The thing is, I wonder, like, where is Chihiro's mother and all this still? Let's see. Even if someone Mr. Ura didn't know about me. Hold on, I literally just forgot the voice I was gonna give. Let's see. How you've grown. There we go. All this time, I had a hazy sense of what was around the Shinichi. Interesting. So that explains how he like sees things yet didn't see things. He was technically watching, but it was very hazy. It was very loose. Like his sword energy, his spirit energy was still directly tied to the Magatsumi, but it wasn't so clearly tied that he could easily perceive everything around him. Right? It was like it's like if you've ever gotten a bad signal on an old TV, like the image is pretty fuzzy. It's pretty much what he had, except sense, which implies he didn't even have visuals, just like feelings. Let's see. You were with your father all along, right? He never told you about me? Aw. And that has to hit extra hard because they were homies, for one. And two, that's literally, like, Chihiro's literally his nephew. Like, I don't know. I don't have, like, nephews or nieces right now. But, like, I do have younger baby cousins who refer to me as Unc. And, like, sure. Do I appreciate the unkification when I'm old but not that old? Not necessarily. But at the same time, man, that would hurt. Like, I can't imagine if, like, my actual cousins who gave birth to my baby cousins were like, yeah, we're never gonna tell you about Uncle Pencil. I'd be like, why not? Why not? I'm a cool guy, you can tell him. But obviously, I get why. Like, and I feel like Akimura should understand why he was not told. She was not informed about the nature of his uncle. Because that probably, like, it would just be conflicted. Like, imagine learning that your uncle is the one who, like, well, I mean, I guess in the case that he was raised in, where the idea that the sword bearers were heroes, maybe it'd be a good thing. But even still, like, the truth would eventually come out. And Kunishige himself, I believe, has admitted to that. Or, like, Kunishige had said he was eventually going to tell Chihiro everything. So, like, he didn't want to put any false hopes or expectations of Akimura into Chihiro's head. Especially since Akimura was never supposed to be freed. He was never supposed to break it. He was never supposed to be here and even meet Chihiro. This is supposed to be an impossible scenario. So the connection the two could have had as uncle and nephew was never meant to exist after the state of the malediction. Though clearly it was meant to exist before because Akimura and Kunishige were such great friends. Let's see. You were with your father all along, right? All this time. There we go. He never told you about me? ... Ellipses? Let's see. I see. How much do you weigh? Huh? I mean, interesting. Let's see. Huh? Yo, wait, so wait, me, chat. Me, truly, he says about like, hang on, really, what? Let's see. Huh? Your weight. 70 kilos. What is the conversion rate? Is it 2.2? I think it's 2.2. So what? Is Chihiro really only like 144 pounds? Hold on. That can't be right. Chihiro's gotta be heavier than that. Chihiro gotta be a small like $150. There ain't no way he's not even $150. Hold on. 70 kg. 70 kg to pounds. Okay, so he's only 150. How tall is Chihiro? You're a full-grown adult, aren't you? How are you only 154 pounds? Oh wait, gosh darn, I got to put Chihiro Kagurabachi specifically. I didn't realize it was a song. Let's see. Chihiro Kagurabachi. Brother, how tall are you? Yep, August 11th. Okay, so he was born. Okay, so never mind. He was born in August, but I think the war ended in like November. Like I think people were saying like the war ended like months after Chihiro's birth. Let's see. Sorcery none, lifelong contract. Okay, they don't have his height. Oh wait, no, 170. So yeah, 170 to 175 centimeters. That's what, 5'9"? Hold on. We'll do 175 centimeters to feet. So he's 5'9". Look at that. I got that right. He's 5'9". And 150? I mean, that may be normal. That's fine. I mean, because notably, I'm really, really big. Unfortunately, horizontally and vertically. But because of that, I'm technically, I think I'm morbidly obese. Because I'm 228. I'm like 50 pounds over what the average weight is supposed to be for someone my height. I'm like 6'1", 6'2", arguably. You're supposed to be like 180. Like, that's like the upper limit before you start getting just overweight and then obese and then morbidly obese. Despite being, I'd say, like, darn near the best physical shape of my life, other than like young, youthful, prime track me, then I'm like still, legally speaking, by the BMI index, like morbidly obese. So like, I know I'm well off here. So him being 150 and the upper limit of 6'1" is 180. Maybe he actually is like in the perfect weight range. He's actually probably pretty healthy, way healthier than me at least. Let's see. Huh? Your weight, 70 kilos. Around 3. Oh! He put the Magatsumi away. Alright. I mean, at least he lowered Blade. At least he put Chihiro, click your heels, dog. You put the stick away. At least for a little bit. Let's see. around 3,860 grams. Is that accurate? Probably. I don't know. Let's see. Huh? I've known you since you were about this. Okay, but see, like, this is my big. This is yo. He is simultaneously so final villain coded, yet so not final villain. Like he's literally talking to me how I talk to some of my like it's crazy because I remember when I was a kid or just younger in general and some of my uncles or aunts or like, and I'm talking biological and non-biological, come to me and be like, I knew you since you popped out your mama. I remember when you were this, I could fit you in my arm. I'd be like, I have no context of that. I'm now doing that to like my younger, I really am old. Oh, my youth is gone. I'm actually legitimately doing that unironically to my, like, it's not even like a joke. I just do it now because it's true. I remember when you popped out your mother child. It's been 10 years already since you were born. That's insane. I remember when your mother was pregnant with you. I remember when your mother was pregnant with you. Like it is crazy. I'm just, but all that being that he does give genuine, like, he gives Unc vibes, bro. He truly was sane. Like, the more and more we see of him, he is just a guy. But like, and that's the thing I talk about with a friend. I made even a TikTok about it. I think honestly that kind of makes it scarier. The idea that this like deity, this divinity in human flesh, is just a guy, is kind of terrifying. Because just a guy shouldn't have the free jurisdiction to wipe out an entire nation the second he feels like it. He's talking about how big Chihiro's as a baby, but like, it's kind of adorable though. He didn't know him for that long. So that does imply that or confirm that the sword bearers, they did retreat back to the mainland often enough that he was presumably like around for Chihiro's birth and at least like a few of his early months of life. Let's say. like he's so guy, like literally, I bought you a bib. That's so like if Chihiro's like, what, King? What is happening? But at the same time, I like putting myself for a very limited position, putting myself in Soga's shoes, I also would be blown away. Like I always joke about, like I've seen some of my cousins when they were babies, and then I'm gonna blink because they live in like really out there places I don't always visit or don't have the time or money or resources to visit. I'm like, next time I see them, they're gonna be like 30. Like they're just gonna be old. They're gonna be full-on adults. It's like, yeah, in Akimoto Soga's mind, sure, he knows that multiple years have passed, but like he last saw a baby. He's now looking at a full-grown man that was the baby. That is like a just straight genuine time. He had no like updates on Chihiro. He didn't get birthday progress pictures. No, the boy was a baby and now he's a man. I don't blame him for being like, dude, I bought your bib, and now you're standing here in front of me with a new enchanted blade. What happened? I don't blame him. Let's see. Huh? Wait, I keep for some reason his voice keeps like fading out of my peripheral, bro. What happens? What happened? Let's see. Hold on. Oh, you've grown, Chihiro. There we go. I'm your uncle. Your mother's... Oh, younger brother! Okay. That's kind of crazy, though. That's kind of crazy. Like, I don't know. I mentioned this before. I could not date any of my friends' sisters. I just couldn't. And, like, it's funny... Because I mentioned that, like, in the guy context, where, like, I made a guy friend, and they have a sister, and I can't help but see the sister, or, like, see the brother in the sister. It's, like, really, like, it's just the same phase, and I don't know. I love my homies. I do not want to make out with any of them. Never been my prerogative. It's been really weird. But at the same time, I also do have multiple homegirls. And just like I wouldn't date them, I wouldn't date their sister, because I see the sister in them. It's weird. It's, like, but obviously, you know, that technically makes even more sense, because, like, you know, they're both women. But, like, it is weird. Like I remember I didn't even know. This is like a loose context scenario. I had just run into somebody and they had said pencil. And I looked at them and I was like, I know I've never spoken to you before. You're so-and-so sister, aren't you? Like, oh yeah. And I'm like, yeah, I could see it. Like I don't know. Once I've slid you into a certain box, everyone in your family goes in that box too, man. But in this case, I was like, Kunishige, he likes him older, and he was still home, like, brotherhood of doom and despair, dog. Like, they were best friends, and they actually legit became brothers. I know some people do speak of that. Not me. Not your boy. Not your boy. Luckily enough, I don't have sisters. Luckily enough. Let's see. Wait, I keep asking, why do I have to keep going back to this panel? Oh, you've grown, Shiro. There we go. Your mother's younger brother. Uncle? Shiro's like, this gotta be the, especially with all the context he now has for Akimura, he's like, you? You? What? Like, that does have to be mind-blowing. Uncle? Let me ask you one question. Why did you... Oh, interesting that once he's talking to Chiro, he says, your father. Like he switches. He's like, my brother. But then, in this case, when he's talking to Chiro, your father. Let's see. Why did your father seal away the enchanted blades? I mean, you know, if there is anyone to ask, it would be Kunishige's son. Let's see. Because they caused the malediction. It was wrong. Well, to be fair, the Magatsumi caused the malediction. Akimura Soga caused the malediction. All the enchanted blades, they didn't do all that. Let me see. Hold on one second. That's what you're doing. Going in depth for evil others. Alright, well, let me see. What did I just talk about? Oh, they father seal away the Chitblade. But yeah, technically, going with the more common discussions that are happening now, like, yeah, a lot of the other Chitblades could have been fine. Like, seemingly everyone else, Ibuki Misaka was stable. Samura was stable. Everyone else could have been, like, the enchanted blade still could have been used. Just, you know, probably another Monotomi. Let's see. It was wrong. Wrong. Uh-oh. How you've grown. That's how, why is that the trigger line? This time, like, that voice isn't even like a voice ripped from another character, mind you. Like, notably, I know I have trigger lines for, like, other characters. Like, I do the, ha-ha, but I need to go into Mickey Mouse. Goofy, get away from my wife! Or like, I am Lord Frieza. That was a horrible one, but my name is imperfect. So, like those are trigger lines. Why is how you've grown, Chihiro? That's not a voice for anything. That's just me, like, putting rasp and, like, a little bit of bass in my own voice. Why does that need a trigger line? Why gotta have to remember that? Let's see. Wrong. It was a massacre after peace had been achieved, and children were killed. Yeah. So that's what my brother taught you. Oh, but see, okay, and immediately he goes, and you know what, though? Even with the original... There we go. But even with the original translations being confirmed that, like, they are brother-in-law, right? Like, obviously, you know, uncle, obviously, Soga's not the father. But I do like that they are so close, they just call it brother, right? And, like, ultimately, I have a few, but there's one man in particular where, if I'm ever lucky enough to have kids, they will be calling that man uncle. We do not look alike at all. They will immediately know something is wrong. But, like, yeah, that's a law of the universe, dog. And I do call that man my brother, like, all the time. I'm my brother from another mother, but 9 out of 10 times, if I'm referring to him in shorthand, oh yeah, my brother right there. My brother right there. Like, that is the case. And I do like that Akimura Soga, very guy-like, and also just very human, like, is like, so that's what my brother taught you. He sees Kunishige as a brother. They were that close, which is really unfortunate, considering what the fate ended up being. Let's see. The children of Shokoku were the same blood as the invaders. They were indoctrinated with the same teaching. But, like, that's such a slippery slope of an argument, though, man. Like, if we're going to, if we're going to, it's like the sins of the father thing, man. I don't think that's valid. Like, oh, I'm sorry, you were born to this bloodline. Wrap it up, G. Time to, but, like, that's a slippery slope, man. Like, what? Like, you mean to tell me you were absolutely confident all those children would have turned into invaders? Like, that's not how, like, because, like, if that was the case, man, what would you think of Chihiro in general? What have you ever had kid? Like what do you mean? Like that's way too slippery stuff to go down, Akimura. Let's see. They were indoctrinated with the same teachings. I killed our enemies. Well, it doesn't matter. It's only natural that people have different opinions on the matter. That's fine. Okay, so this is interesting. That's how he views it. I just slaughtered our enemies. The children were enemies. The innocents were enemies. Those who never fought on the front line, they were enemies because they had the potential, because they were raised on that same. Like, obviously though, we have to make Akimoto Soga a villain. I think that's how he is a villain. Like, dog. If it truly is the case that we can never expect anyone to change based on the legacies that they were grown up, that they were raised in, and or their literal blood, something that they could not control, then one way or another, I feel like you can trace 90% of the population back to like someone who did something bad, or someone who was like a warrior or an enemy, like just anywhere and anything. It's like if we're just gonna slaughter those who could have the potential to become enemies one day, like no, like we'd wipe out humanity then. Like, I don't know. Akimura, that's a way too slippery of a slope. They're sliding down to Mach 50, dog. Let's see. That's fine. But then, he forged a new enchanted blade. Why? To destroy the enchanted blade. You know, though, I do like that Chihiro, he is conversing with his uncle. And, like, this is one of them cases that I talked about in the intro. Like, sometimes you do just gotta get sunned. I still remember the first time I was picked up when I was, like, decently sized. Like, when I had memory and cognitive ability. I've always been a big, hefty fella, even when I was a kid. Like, when I was 5, I looked like 8 or 9. I was just big. So I still remember one of my uncles just legit sunning me instantly. I was punching his legs, and he was like, stop that. And I was like, no! I'm stronger than you. You can't make me do. And he just picked me up. One hand, just straight scooped me up by the back of my shirt like I was a lion cub being picked up by the scruff of my neck. It was just like, stop it, kid. And he threw me down and he talked to me. He's like, this is why you shouldn't do that. This is why people like I sat there in the lecture like, oh, I'm Varder. And this is the same thing Chihiro's going right now. Like, it didn't matter. I had to sit there and listen to that conversation. Chihiro has to sit here and hold this conversation because what is he meant to do? Fight? It's this? Nah. Let's see. Destroy the enchanted blades. I see. Interesting. Let's see. Why are you flexing your building drawing abilities on me, dog? Let's see. Oh, that's the destroyed building that Summer was in that got sliced in half. Let's see. At first, I was upset. Why didn't anyone tell me I was related to the Swordmaster? Sword Saint. But then, at first, as in like just now, this chapter when you found out he was your uncle, or like did you know already? I don't know. It seems like you just found out. Let's see. But then, it made sense. I'm glad I didn't know. This loathing, knowing that I was close to a mass slaughterer. I don't even remember. This revulsion, when he treats me with such disgusting familiarity. Like, I guess that is the other thing, right? Like, you cannot choose. Following it up, about to get a very Deltarune statement from me, but nobody can choose who they are in this world. You don't choose which family you're born into. You don't choose to be born at all. You just appear one day. And even then, you don't really appear. Like, I'm not sure how early your consciousness spawned in. When I popped out my mama, I sure wasn't conscious. I was a bundle of instincts. I would, like, scream and cry, and dump, and eat. Like, that was all I could do. And then, like, I randomly gained consciousness around, like, age 4, sitting at the stairs in my childhood home. Like, that's it. That's my earliest memory ever. That's when Pencil was born. Before that, I don't know who that guy was. He's gone. Not in the, Anakin is gone. I am what remains. No, like, just gone as in, like, I think that guy wasn't a guy. It was just, like, once again, a bundle of instincts that somehow managed to speak. Like, understand and react. It was like a dog. Meanwhile, like, the active, like, being I recognize as me that has gone through multiple different character arcs and development, like that me was 4 and beyond. But, notably, if I were connected to someone with such a dark, bloody history, like Akimura, like Chihiro is, I also probably wouldn't want to know. Because even if they were, like, sweet and kind of, like just knowing that you are a monster. Like, it completely invalidates any camaraderie or chumminess I may feel with you. Even if you are just, like, a kind of cool cat like Akimura is. Let's see. None of those things matter now. Sorry. How you've grown, Chihiro. Sorry to bombard you with questions. The malediction was wrong, so he sealed up the enchanted blades, and this world as a result. Was that the correct choice? Now, see, this is a different thing, right? Like, going into, should that power still have been available to be used by the right people? Let's see. This bloodlust. No. He sheathed the sword. Oh, several minutes ago. Several minutes. Like, how long have you been out this conversation? He sheathed the sword just now. Like, right here? This is several minutes since this interaction? Let's see. No. He sheathed the sword several minutes ago, but my throat still feels cold. Like if I move, I'm dead. I know it's not real, but that's how terrified I am. And that's crazy. Because he was legit just freeform fighting Magatsumiura. So just passively, even with the blade seal, just being in Akimura's presence is enough to strike fear in Chihiro, who's been fearless, right? Like, up to this point, he's been able to move forward and fight no matter what. But Akimura is so imposing a presence, so powerful an individual, that there's no choice but to be what you are. And in this case, what Chihiro is terrified. Terrified and afraid. Good stuff. Let's see. The enchanted blades have a mission: to eradicate evil and protect the vulnerable. But those children were vulnerable, man. Those children on Shokoku, they were vulnerable. Akimura, you can't say that and then I've slaughtered multiple children. Like, I'm sorry, dog. You can't. Let's see. I must fulfill that mission. Interesting. So but that does fit into what Samura talked about last chapter, right? Like, the main thing that was so terrifying about Akimura, it wasn't even just like his raw potential, or raw power. It was his ironclad beliefs. And this simplistic interpretation of his, where like, enemies are enemies and they must die, and the weak are the weak that I decide and they must be protected, that can lead to despair, darkness, chaos on a mass scale, because it's all up to one man. One man has the power to decide who is the weak, who is the vulnerable, who must be protected, and who are the enemies that must be slain. And that's a lot of damage. That's a lot of power. That's a lot of damage that could happen under the will of one guy, of one person, one individual. Let's see. I must fulfill that mission. Uh-oh. What's happening? Wait, what's happening? No, wait. Why is my son being shot? Hold on. The Sazanami, one of their descendants, is in Kabunami headquarters. He has the same powers as their patriarch. Okay, so once again, he could sense loosely what was happening around the Shinichi, including that. So even before Yorua picked it up, he was just reading the Shinichi's area. It was consistently feeding him loose information. I'm shocked that he was able to tell that much, though. So when he sensed it, he just sensed the two separate powers. Wait. Hold on. SOGA. I disagree with you. I think you're kind of nuts. But, like clearly you're saying in your own right mind. But, like, I think I would say, not my baby. Not my baby, SOGA. Not my baby. Though I highly doubt I get to him. Let's see. He must be killed. Every member of that clan who governed the Rakuzachi must be eradicated. But, like, buddy, he helped end the Rock. And this is one of the, well, in the case of the Rakuzachi in particular, right? If all the adults were randomly slaughtered, then, like, probably it'd be fine. But even though we know there are some, we know there are other Sazanami clan members that live, right? Like, Shiba didn't slaughter everybody. There's the older brother. There's another older brother. I think the sister were all spared. The only Sazanami clan members I think that died that night were Kyora and Tenri. I think Tenri. Like, those were the only two who actually did die that night. But, man, to think once again to punish for the sins of the father. Just see, like, someone like Hakuri, who was directly opposed to the nature, or is directly opposed, but initially wasn't, right? Like, the main issue, and I suppose this goes with, like, any, like, character who doesn't have a no-kill rule, is that like once you slaughter somebody, you erase any potential for change. You override the idea of change based on how what has someone has done. And I do get that in some degrees, where like there's some people you don't even want to chance like them doing literally anything else. In that case, like you do kind of just want to put a hard stop to them because they're too dangerous to be kept alive. He's too dangerous. But in the case of someone like Hakuri, man, like there's context there that would, if Hakuri was never given the time to grow and develop, then he never would have, and they would have never ended the Rakuzachi. Though admittedly, once again, this is Soga speaking from a point of absolute power, where he's like, I could do it. I could stop the Rakuzachi by myself. Samura could have stopped it by himself. Any of the ancient blade could have stopped it by himself. And now I will go to finish what I should have been able to finish 18 years ago. I should have been able to stop the Rakuzachi. And presumably he's going to go stop, or at least attempt to go stop, literally every single travesty that exists within the nation. By any means necessary, including slaughter. That's it. Govern the Rakuzachi must be eradicated. Hakuri! Wait, but Hakuri... Yeah... But, you know, I love that Chihiro, even in his great fear, immediately goes to clap back against his uncle. Like, wait, no, not my boy, not my boy! Let's see. Naturally, I will kill anyone who stands in my way. No exceptions. The evildoers must all be caught. Yeah, it's, you know what, funnily enough, Akimura is very, it's funny. I would say he's very black and white, but he's very gray. Like he's like the perfect balance of black and white, and not in like the yin yang sense, but like in the his morals are truly gray, because he's just admitted, like, Chihiro, I'll kill you right now. Like that's basically what he said. Nephew, I love you, dog. You're a real cool guy. I remember when you were this big, dog, and weighed barely anything. If you get in my way, I will literally have him out. Like that, to say that to like, just even if he's not saying I'll boom you right now. He's clearly implying that. He literally is standing right next to you and be like, I will boom you if you stop me. You know that? Like to say that. That is a morally great character. If it was just black and white, he would like, oh, your family, I love you. I'm not gonna harm you. I don't care if you break the rule. And same case for Hakuri. You think but you would think he'd be black and white, because he's like, oh, Hakuri is the child of Rakuzachi. Guy must die. Children were children of enemy soldiers must die. But like, you can see that in his black and whiteness, there's this weird grayness where he will spare some, but not spare others based on who's weak and who's strong and who's vulnerable and who's not vulnerable. And it's very interesting to see him like not even rationalize. The thing, and I think that's what makes him so powerful, right? And why it will be so difficult to break the Magatsumi and break Soga, is that in this pool, this sea, this ocean of gray, he stands on top of it unshaken. The water doesn't even ripple. He will move forward no matter what, and in this case he has his objective, so he shall move forward. Let's see, whose hand is that Chihiro? Why is he using I knew splitting him in half was gonna be enough. He's too good with the sword. Yeah, look at him. And he pushes Soga away from Chihiro. All right, to break Chihiro out of the stun lock, essentially, that Soga had him in. And there he is, still sweating though. Oh, interesting though. Soga still just immediately critiques him. All right, even with Suzaku, your healing powers can't keep up. Interesting. So, I mean, it makes sense. We've long since understood Suzaku does seem to have some kind of limit, but Soga seems to be well beyond that limit, which seems to make sense. Let's see. The power of the immortal phoenix, and yet Samura, my blade can take your life. Yep. Even the Magatumi overrides Tobimune entirely, in spite of Tobimune's healing ability, just because it's that much more powerful. That's the thing about them stat guys, brother. They go crazy. Let's see. I know. The door. Someone's like, yeah, I know. What? Like, he's like, I'm fried. I do not care. All right, let's see. Tobimune. Wait, we're gonna see Tobimune versus the Magatumi. All right. Okay. They neutralize though. They neutralize. All right. That's good. So they clashed. They bounced off, and they neutralized. But they were both pushed back. All right. So this works out. You okay, Soga? Oh, wait, no, that was Summer. You okay? Yes. He matched Mr. Summer's EI. Ooh, that's great. Especially in Summer's, like, established at this fastest drawing speed in the verse, basically, outside maybe Itsuo Shirokai himself. That's actually a real big deal. Okay, golly. But I thought, oh, there are only 2 men? Whatever, let's see. After all, Agemura chose not to practice the white purity EI only because he hated Itsuo. Ah, okay. So there could have been 3, he just didn't like it. But he copied it in this one instance because it was useful. So that does imply that his regular sword fighting style is still slower than Samura's. Right? So he needs to resort to the EI. He needs to resort to the white purity style just to evenly clash them. He may have actually taken, like, some damage if... Am I stupid? He may take some damage if he just swings if he had swung with a regular sword swing here instead of going with another EI reflection style. So, darn, let's see. He possessed ample talent to master it immediately. That's crazy. To master the EI purity style immediately, not even Chihiro did that. He still hasn't mastered it, and he's a super giga prodigy himself. So yeah, Agemura Soga. Oh, he's got that dog in him. He got some cats in him too. Golly, let's see. His skill with the sword is unparalleled. But, Big Boy Digibly Butt Cheeks, what? Unsheath. Oh, I love this. I love the blade with the butterflies flying. Okay, I get it, though. Having the butterflies fly around rather than what? Having the butterflies fly around. Oh, rather than being carved on the blade itself. That's actually pretty cool. Let's see. Unsheath, the Magatsumi has more than just 3 powers. Man, what can the Magatsumi not do? Listen, this Magatsumi is crap. Let's see. We have yet to see it. Its true essence. Okay. He's drawing centipedes and ants to him, or bugs of some sort. Alright, darn, yeah. Sama's still going for it. His allergy is too extreme. We have to stop him, or we'll experience another tragedy again like the malediction. Yeah, but can you, though? Can you two actually? I don't think so. I really doubt it. Once again, I think this is early balls encounter. I think they need to get out of there. And I do mean, like, everyone in the area needs to get out of there. Let's see. Chihiro. Tell him Jiro's like, still, that's my unk? Really? That's my unk? Let's see. Chihiro, stop. And you know what? Chihiro, he says, I won't stop. Chihiro's a better man than me. Because I almost on instinct would obey that. Like, I don't know, there's certain, like, even as I've gotten older, there are certain, like, commands that were so well ingrained into me when I was a youth that my body almost autonomously reacts to them as if, like, that's just, like, what it's supposed to do. Like, notably, when I was younger, whenever I was called, I wouldn't, like, just go and appear. But I've been trained to do that so consistently that whenever my name is called for anything, I just immediately get up and move. I don't even think about it. I'm just like, up, I have a pencil. And then I go over in that direction because I've been that trained. And the same case here for Soga issuing the command, stop. It would have been like Cage 1 all over again. I would have been hit with a freeze spell and stay right there. But not Chihiro. I won't stop. Standing before me is the reason Kunishige Rokuhira sealed away the enchanted blades. The reason why he wanted to destroy them. Agemura Soga himself is the living legacy of the danger of the enchanted blades. Very interesting. Though a lot of people did bring up a good point. A lot of people are wondering if Kunishige was more radical until the birth of Chihiro, where he was like, eradicate them all. And also combine that with the idea that people are thinking the only intention of the Magatsumi was to take lives. The other one may have had multiple purposes, but that's the only intention of that one. Since that syncs so well with Soga, it was levels above. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see though. We'll see. Golly. This is the all right. I'm gonna have to wait 2 weeks. Let's see. As the one who bears Enten, I have to face him. I also have a mission to fulfill. Chihiro. Oh man, what can I say? It's peak. Come on now, it's peak. And this chapter is peak for a variety of reasons. But as you can tell, there wasn't actually much combat in this chapter. There was like one sword clash, and that was it. And then Soga started horror forming. I love this chapter for what it does for all three characters involved. Obviously, one is reinforcement, one is elaboration, and one is redirection. For the reinforcement, I'll go over the quote-unquote weakest character in this chapter. Well, I guess Shiba's here too, but like, well, we will barely kind of meet him. He makes the cameo just to show us where he is. And seeing him respond to the Sword Saint's aura, respond to Nakamura's aura is cool. But very specifically, reinforcement is Samura. Reinforcing where he stands relative as a swordsman to Soga, reinforcing his opinion on Soga and what has to be done. Reinforcing all of that is very, very important because he's in a new position now. The difference between the Samura that would have fought Soga originally and this Samura here is the fact that Samura wants to live now for the sake of his daughter, but now he may be put in a position where he can't. So that's good to see. For the redirection, it's obviously Chihiro, right? Now that he knows that Akimura is Soga's uncle, now that he's actually interacting with him, now that he's speaking with him, now that he actually has a chance to push all what he has learned into Soga himself, he sees the wall that is there to overcome and realizes that just overcoming it isn't a matter of willpower, isn't a matter of determination, isn't a matter of anything like that. It is truly a transcendental gap in skill, speed, and understanding, and just raw power that Shiro simply cannot compete with. And yet seeing him decide to fight anyway because he has a mission to fulfill is fantastic. And because he wants to protect Hakuri, and because he wants to still redefine his father's legacy, not as one of creating destruction, but creating peace. There is so much in this chapter for Chihiro, and that's perfect. Especially considering for most of the time he's just standing there answering questions like a little baby boy. But then of course, Soga himself. The standout is Soga. Because he's clearly nuts. Or at least very short-sighted / just flat out wrong. Not even just / just flat out wrong in terms of how he sees things. I'm sorry. Sins of the father is not a good reason to punish and mass slaughter children. Call me crazy. Call my brain all out of whack. But that logic makes absolutely no sense. The idea, and even the logic of the Sasanami clan, well, there is some decent amount more logic to that. Hakuri doesn't deserve to go through that because he didn't agree with it and he went and shut it down. The man shouldn't die for being born a certain way. No one should. That's not how that works. So that is also creepy. But at the same time, I'm glad, one, he's wrong because it makes that he's a villain. If he was like just perfectly justified, if like the children were like, I don't know, like if there weren't any children on the island or something like that, and they were just all evil, magical adult, like that'd be one thing. But making him completely wrong gives us a point of contention against him. And also reaffirms the firmness that he is. Even though, like, that the logic doesn't really make any sense when you think about it for more than 2 seconds, the fact that he isn't thinking about it for 2 seconds, the fact that he has the determination to just slice down Chihiro after praising that, oh, I bought your bib, and you've gotten so big, young man. Like, that balance of absolute insanity of the character, and at the same time with that absolute insanity, the contrast and revolving of this insane, mad god being just a dude. That is perfect. That is perfect. Being the embodiment of talent, the greatest swordsman that ever exists, unparalleled in strength, power, speed, ability, understanding, all that, yet having such a base and fundamental understanding of the world and view of it, allowing him to exist in this transcendental sphere in the first place on top of all that he already has. It's so good! And that's what this chapter does. Elaboration, reinforcement, and redirection, and it does this perfectly. So if you made it all the way to the end of this video, please do me a favor and leave just that: elaboration, reinforcement, and redirection in the comment section down below. I want to thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure that links with notifications so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do want to have a Patreon down below. You can support me for as low as $1 a month. He thinks exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. So those perks include the live reactions here of the series I have to review, ad-free variations of all my videos, ad-free early access, and not heavily edited or ganked versions of my videos. If you couldn't tell, I'm still a little bit scared of the whole Kagurabachi thing. So for anyone who's not a Patreon member, this video looks really, really rough and it's super duper zoomed in and it's really, really wacky looking. But that's mainly because I'm scared. But if you are a Patreon member, you get full access to the regular version of the video where you can see everything and I can highlight everything normally. And on top of that, you get your name listed at the end of every single video that I not just make on this channel, but on the second channel that got the reaction. I drop 40 to 2 hour long reaction videos over there every Saturday at 1 p.m. EST. If you become a Patreon member, you get early access to all of those as soon as they are ready. And on top of that, you get your name listed at the end of every single video. But if you're a $3 member or higher, you get your name listed and read aloud at the end of every single video I ever produce ever on this channel, the second channel, and any other channels that happen to exist. On top of that, if you want to come and chat with your boy live about the latest chapters of the week or anything at all, that guy with the controller, my Twitch is linked in the description down below. Roll through whenever you want and whenever I'm live. That's why you go down there and follow, so you know whenever I'm live. But of course, I'm usually live at 8 p.m. EST every Friday. And then on top of that, I do have my Ko-Fi in the down below, where you can drop 5 beans to a short video, or 25 beans to a long video for the one time, or any support at all. Any support is always greatly appreciated. Now, I'd like to thank you so much for watching. Once again, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with the Pencil, writing off. I'd like to give a thank you to our sketch tier members: Eternal Flame, Red Wolf 4765, Astro, Glacier XZ, Zera, Brandon Payne, J2MA, Guillaume, Pura Ura, Enzo, Swift Strike, Super Flame Zero, Yuki Ally, Striker Man, Grim, Ollie, The Boy, Corey Watson, Damon Brown, Magic, CCC, Romano Furen, Dino, Heath Nelson, Hector Gonzalez, Black Sage, Tim Thomas, Kaving, Julian Perez, Akolade Babatunde, Union I, RXN, Nevis97, Logan Guzman, Dead Meme, Karudir, Christian Carter, Jagoda, Keon Stewart, Donovan McIntosh, Sino King, Hamza Idrisi, BNA DNA, Edwin Igmignoba, Cyan, Straw, Cybersage 12, Athen Shear, Antavius Mitchell, Plant Crone, Azo2404, Create Panem, Zapro, Weary Exile, Karina Hernandez, Sheesh King, Window Life, Alex Kenny, Victor Jacobs, Todd, and Dre. Then, let me thank you to Art Art tier patrons: A+A, Kevin Encarnacion, Sean, Dread Zoen, Midnight Lord 21, Wind Draco, Alyssa Bujanos, CJ, and Brandon Cathell. Then I'd like to thank you to our Inc tier members: King RTX and Shrimpo the 4th Shrimp 06. Then I'd like to thank you to our digital art tier members: J Warrior and AZ Void. Then I'd like to thank you to our colored art tier patrons: Walkie Munoz and Walkie Munoz.